Hello friends, Tom Downey here for NFL Daily on Chat Sports. The initial rush of free agency is over. Most of the big name guys have signed, but not quite all of them. One of the top guys left on the market is Terrelle Pryor, the quarterback turned wide receiver. And despite a down year with the Washington Redskins, Pryor has drawn some interest in the free agency market. So today, we're going to take a look at 5 teams that could sign Pryor now that he's currently a free agent and no longer under contract with the Washington Redskins. He struggled last year and was limited by injuries. The numbers are very unimpressive. Turned down a big contract from the Browns to try and prove it with the Redskins, and then kind of failed to prove it. Now, despite Pryor having a bad year, he had a great 2016, although he is very much a volume-type guy who didn't have great efficiency. But now that he's hit the open market, there are multiple teams that have shown interest in Pryor, and we're going to take a look at the top 5 teams that make sense for Pryor and rank them from number 5 down to what I think is the most likely team for Pryor. We'll start with number 5, a team that hasn't shown interest, maybe should. It's the Arizona Cardinals. They have lost John Brown and Jaron Brown in free agency. Larry Fitzgerald keeps playing at a great level, but he's not going to be there forever either. So I think with the Cardinals in general here, it's a need to go get a wide receiver. $29 million in cap space. They can easily afford Pryor. And you look at the guys on their roster. Larry Fitzgerald, okay, we love him. J.J. Nelson, okay. Chad Williams. Britton Golden's a free agent. Someone named Rashad Ross. Not a good group for Arizona. Pryor would instantly become the number 2 wide receiver on that roster. Next up, the Los Angeles Rams. Now, they did lose Sammy Watkins in free agency and have reportedly shown an interest in signing Pryor, and that does make some sense. You lose Sammy Watkins, you want to get more wide receiver help. But I'll mention this with the Rams. I actually don't think they are in desperate need of a wide receiver, and that's why they're only 4th on this list. They've got Robert Woods, who they like a lot. I'm a big fan of Cooper Kupp as well. They also kept Tavon Austin. Now, there were rumors they were going to cut him or trade him. They ended up restructuring his deal and keeping him for 1 more year at least. Josh Reynolds can take over that Sammy Watkins role as one of those go-to deep threats. And Pharoh Cooper is a key special teams player and I think can also offer some value in the receiving game. So Pryor does make some sense, but I don't think it's quite top 3. To number 3, then let's get to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I don't think the Niners view wide receiver as big of a need as other NFL teams view it for wide receivers or as the media does it. They have extended the contract of Marquise Goodwin. They're big fans of Pierre Garçon, and they like Trent Taylor in the spot. That's why, by the way, the Niners didn't really show any interest in Jarvis Landry. But Aldrick Robinson is not great. Lewis Murphy's a free agent. Maybe you can find a way to add Pryor, keep Pierre Garçon when healthy. Trent Taylor, of course, in your slot. Goodwin becomes your go-to deep threat. Pryor can still be your number 2 wide receiver with some upside that he showed, by the way, with the Cleveland Browns back in 2016. And speaking of the Cleveland Browns, there's some mutual interest here in a reunion with Pryor and the Browns. Now, Pryor's best year came in Cleveland. Pryor turned down a 4-year contract offer from the Browns. Browns said, okay, they offered to Kenny Britt, and that didn't work out. And it didn't work out for Pryor in Washington. Maybe they just need to get back together, kiss and make up, and it'll all be fine. But the Browns, I think they're actually okay at wide receiver. They've got Josh Gordon. They went out and traded for Jarvis Landry. Corey Coleman is a former first-round pick. Rashard Higgins and Ricardo Lewis have shown some flashes. Either way, they're okay as your number 4, number 5. But the Browns have the cap space. There's some mutual interest there. If they do sign Pryor, maybe the trade rumblings around Corey Coleman grow a little bit louder. I think it's a possibility, but it's not quite number 1. At number 1 is the Seattle Seahawks. Not a ton of cap space, but they're trying to add more weapons for Russell Wilson. Remember, Paul Richardson left in free agency, and so did Jimmy Graham. So while they have some bodies at receiver, they are missing one of their top weapons in Graham, and they're visiting with Pryor on Sunday. Their wide receiver depth chart consists of Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, the recently signed Jaron Brown, Amara Darboh, Tanner McAvoy, and then Marcus Johnson they traded for from the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Seattle makes a lot of sense for Pryor. They're the ones bringing him in for a visit. There's a good chance, by the way, that Pryor does not leave the facility without signing a contract for the Seattle Seahawks. So keep an eye on that. If he does leave, maybe Seattle's chances drop down just a little bit. To recap the top 5 landing spots, it's the Cardinals at 5, the Rams at 4, followed up by the Niners, the Browns, and the Seattle Seahawks at number 1. Folks, I'm Tom Downey. Follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney for more NFL coverage. And subscribe to the channel for more videos throughout the NFL offseason. And until then, we'll see you next time.